Here we go. All right. All right. So can I leave this? So I can leave this open, this window open, right? You guys can hear me. It's not too bad. Let's get to it. Good morning, cool cats and kittens. All right. A couple things here that I think are super important. What I have that you could really think about, this OS is up for sale. You might want to look at that. I think that's pretty interesting. I don't know what they're going to go at, but they're up for sale. And they just went public too. That's super interesting. This UA is fascinating to me. Like really interesting. So yeah. What else is out there? That's pretty interesting too. Let's get to the ES and start there. Oh, good. Maybe a screen. How about a screen? Come on, Boomer. Get it together. Get it together, Boomer. Come on. The Venezuela has the entire world shook, it looks like. So, which is kind of silly, but nonetheless, here we are. And I want that. Yes, let's go to this. Let's go to, what do we really want to go to? Start with the indexes. I think that that's the best place to start and get to it. We'll start over. And we'll go to a bear chart. And we'll do a 4-hour. Let's get to it. I got some emails on like the quotes, so I thought that was super interesting. People are like, I really like your quotes. Like, cool, I'll make sure I do more of them. So this is where we're at as far as the fib levels from that date, right? On the ES, when we look at that, what's it really showing us? You're still holding above 78.6, which is good. And maybe I have to move this over a little bit. I don't know. So there we go. Cool. So I do think that that's very helpful. You're not breaking 61.8, which I think is also very helpful. You can't break the 50, again, since you tested it. So you have to be net positive and a net buyer across the board. I just don't think you're going to go anywhere anytime soon. I think there's too much uncertainty. If we take this off and then just do the simple thing of just dropping the anchored VWAP from there, not the anchored VWAP, I'm sorry, the anchored volume profile, you keep hitting that volume high, right? We can all see that. And then after we hit that value high area, you're holding that point of control. As I like to say, you got to be careful with VWAP because you can put them everywhere and then say, see, look, it hit. Like, it's exhausting. What you're really looking for are points of interest where you can see those intersects. And you're not really having to worry about that because you have the point of control there. So if I had to say what would be the most interesting one, I think that it's hitting this peak And the fact that you're staying above that peak is super interesting. So when we dive into that area, you can see that even now, right, this morning, 3:30, you hit that point of control. And at the same time, you have that most recent peak up here and you're hitting that as well. So I probably from a trader standpoint, like if I had to pinpoint your big level that you don't want to break, or, hey, if you break that, you're probably going lower and, start having more of a net intraday negative bias. It's probably right there. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? Look at it. I think that's really where to go with this. And I think that that's how you should view this, but you should do what you're comfortable with. So if we take this, and let me just drop that in there so that I have that. I think that'd be super helpful. And let's go to here and go in here. And what else do we have to go for? Let's go to NQ. And we'll look there. Go to the 4 hour, and it doesn't look anywhere near as good. Right. See the difference from that peak over? See how you're rejecting that point of control? So it's a very different looking chart, isn't it? Geez, that's hot. That's a very different looking point of control, isn't it? So it is what it is, but there it is. We're staring right at it. And you're kind of locked in here. Now, I think that's too tight. I don't think we need it, but you're probably even off of this low, right, from 10 o'clock on. You can see you're not breaking that one either. So, I mean, you could leave that one on as well. You'll have one back here. It's going to take you to the same spot. But they're very slowly, it's getting tighter and tighter. So I'm going to say something prophetic here. Something's going to happen. And I'm not sure what yet, but I definitely think it's worth paying attention to. Let me shrink that down. I'll put that there. Pretty obvious that those lines are important. So probably want to pay attention to them. And, if you could rally up to the red line, that'd be something, but I don't know that you're going to. If we look at the Qs, you have a wide range now. You're up here at like 627 to down here at 610 on options. If we go any further, you're here at 623. And you've really been trying to ride that 617. Now, if you look at that area, and we went into that here, and what we'll do is we'll open that up for a second. But if we looked at this area in a couple different ways, where you look at the Qs here, let's get rid of the pre and the post for a sec. You can see that you flipped. Right on top means what? Stop, right? Remember, I'm not the brightest bulb, so I color code everything. Right on top means stop. So when red's on top, it just means that we're, getting a little negative. Green's on top, it means go. People are like, oh, well, you missed the bottoms. I'm not saying not to trade them. I'm just telling you that if you're trying to build on swing trades in here, you're fighting the tape. But you should do what you're comfortable with. So when you look at something like this, it's very helpful to understand where you're at. I use these as demarcation lines where if I'm interested in a trade and I'm trading it, that trade's working, I tend to put myself in a position where, hold on one second, I'll be more like willing to blow it out, right? Like I definitely will get way more willing to blow it out. Like just take I'll just take the W because of where I'm at versus if I'm in a trend like this, no, not so much. Did you close above the The 55, yes. I'll tell you what I don't like. You see where you're at the 12, the 22, and the 55? I tell you what I really don't like, because you asked. I don't like how tight everything's getting. And the reason I don't like that is because the moving averages, when you get this tight, the moving averages start to become completely irrelevant. Like they just don't become as relevant, because moving averages are only really good if you're in a trending environment. If we start basing on the NASDAQ for a period of time, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So, they become less and less relevant. And that's what's starting to happen here. They're becoming less and less relevant the more that it happens. So I think that that's super, super important for people to get. And we'll go from there. So let me just see this. Well, these guys are really freaking out about Greenland, aren't they? A lot of news, a lot of news on Greenland today. Let me see something. Give me 1 second here, guys. All right. I think they're the levels that you should use. I want to see one thing before I go any further, and then I'm going to take a bunch of questions today. They're just going nuts with this thing. Let me just see one thing. There it is. Yet again, you cannot get through it, can you? Do you see how you see how they're walking it down and you can't even get near it anymore? It's a problem. That's a really big problem. It's not good. I'd watch the 690 level. That's really where you're at here as well. I mean, that's your call wall. It's really not as bad because you have other areas, but I do wonder about the I really do wonder about technology and its ability to grow if something happens, with more of this rhetoric. Oh, hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second here. That'll do it. Say questions and then I'll get to it. I'm just going through all the news here. Got a bunch of crap going on this morning, man, with the G7 and everything else. We just terminated a merger. I guess they were the one that were being bought. So remain a standalone publicly traded company. I guess people thought they were getting bought. This thing is going to unwind. No termination fee will be payable. So they just stepped away from it. So, so you want to get bought up here. So you're going. So where do you go to? Well, they're going to have to unwind the whole damn thing. So you tend to go lower on these deals, right? Because people have to unwind their position. These things tend to go lower. They don't tend to go higher. They tend to go lower. Like a lot lower, because they have to unwind, because they bought this, right? So like they bought this, and then they would have either assumed, let me just see these terms real quick. Sorry, guys. Alcon, was Alcon a publicly traded company? No. So Alcon must have been a private equity company. Vote may be delayed. So they delayed the vote after pre-market trading. Star Surgical Deal Analytics. Let me see what this says. They don't want to do the vote. They don't want the vote. They want to stay public. Okay, so they got an offer. It looks like they took the offer. And now they're passing on the offer. That's interesting. I wonder if they thought that they couldn't get that done. And then they're going to come out with a higher offer. Did not get necessary shareholder votes to meet the thing. All right, so you didn't get shareholder votes. So let's think it through. So why wouldn't you get shareholder votes? Because you didn't get enough money for the company. So do they come back out and offer them more money? So they tried to get it approved. They couldn't get it approved because they couldn't get more mergers. All right, so they need more money. So you might actually go up on this. Right, but what you did was you came right back to the same level. That's exactly what you did. So that's super interesting. Because why I think that you might want to short it, they might come out and offer more money. Alcon is ALC, is it? Yeah, you're right. Alcon, that's ALC. All right, so it is a merger. See if you can get the terms. Hold on one second, guys. they might actually raise the price, right? They might actually have to raise the price. So it might actually be a good thing. I have to look more into it, but I think that's super interesting. These kinds of deals are always fun because once you understand them, you can do really well with them, but you have to understand them. If they turn it down because it wasn't enough money, then they could just come out and increase the amount of money, especially if it's a stock deal. Mm-hmm. Usually what happens is if it's two companies stock, then they have to unwind it. Right. So then it might actually get more pressure. And then after that pressure, you can buy it back because the mergers and acquisition guys have to unwind it. All these guys are trashing RBLX this morning, huh? Man, that took forever to break. I kept trying to short it. It just wasn't working. Finally caught on. All right, I got to look at this one. Put this in here. I would watch that STAA today for sure. That's super interesting. I'm not going to have a lot of time for questions. Sorry, guys. I can already say it. Let's get through this. Let's just do it as fast as we can. So, Kev, I'm going from New York. I'm going from Miami. You're starting to see this. I'm wondering what starts to happen here with the cost of goods over time. But for now, it's definitely pushing. I don't know that I'd be chasing anything like that right now. But it's there. It's definitely there. You're definitely over. I mean, 215, as long as 215.65 holds, you're golden. You're above everything you need. Yeah, I actually think that this is what's going on there is really good for Argentina. I actually think what's happening there is amazing for Argentina. You can see, the elections and then what's happened since then, and you can see it in the banks. From that date on, and how the banks have acted. I really think that there's something there. Yeah, I do. I think there's definitely something there. I think that could really be a big trade because it depends on how much that whole area starts to look like Argentina, but that could be freaking huge for that whole area, like Venezuela, Argentina, like all of that. Like it's so interesting how that's all shaping up right now. I mean, these things just look fantastic, don't they? Ever since that he was supposed to lose, it was a sweeping election. Man, they played that one right. All right. That's not really my kind of trade. I see what you're looking at. I mean, I get it. It's not really my kind of trade. I think silver, the whole silver trade changed a lot with what happened in Venezuela, more so than I thought. Way, way more than I thought. Um, Copper's rocking and rolling. So I'm just going to keep pushing. There's a lot going on here, man. A lot going on this morning. Whew. Yeah, I think with the whole silver trade, I think that whole trade was saved by Venezuela and what's going to happen because of it. Like all the tensions are going to go up. Simo's in that group. Simo's in that group of the, those other names of the, like the NTAPs, and it's also in that whole thing with Western Digital and Micron. Like it's part of that whole index. So maybe. I don't know. I can't get over how much news there is this morning. Jesus. There's no way I'm going to get through it all in a half hour. The LEU, I think, is super interesting. I had someone come to me yesterday and say, why didn't I buy this yesterday? I wanted to see how we opened. Like, I don't mind paying up for some things sometime. I think this is a super interesting trade with the amount of money that just came into the market in the space. And I get it. Like if you look at LEU, like I understand why people would get up with that, or URA. I totally understand that, but I think you have to look at this all and go like, here's URA, and then you start looking at like uranium, URNM, SRU, UF. I think this is the one that people should really be looking at, anything with physical. But yeah, I think that when you look at that, like LEU, it's there. Like that's a beautiful chart. Like that, it's perfect. Left, head, right, breakout. Your 55's right there. I think that there's a lot going for it here, but I just think you need to be super careful until you get a sense of what's really happening here with the market. And yeah, you had your huge run up, you pulled back, and you've had a massive, massive run. And now you're getting tons of money, and nuclear is going to be a thing for a very long period of time. These things will turn into the new utilities, is what's going to happen with them, and they'll bonk all around. But I don't know that you have to chase anything here. Is kind of where my head is. I got so many deals going on this morning. Is that a new company? Dark blue. Do they exist? Are they public? No. Amgen just bought somebody. There's so many mergers going on. It's crazy. Marvel just bought somebody. They got a lot going on, man. Like a crap ton. I don't know what's going on there. I have no idea why that's up. There's probably news on it. I could see if I can find it real quick. And I'm going to have to jump here. Sorry I didn't have time for a lot of questions today, guys. A lot of interest in this. Something about their obesity RNAi drug. The gene silencer is working. Something about their drug is working. And they're presenting at, let me see if I can find this. They're presenting at JP Morgan's healthcare conference at 2:15 and you can watch it here. Hold on, buddy. You can watch it here. These smaller companies don't go to these events unless they have something good. Like they very rarely will go and present if they don't have something good. That's interesting. I have no interest, or I have no position in this. I wonder if I should. I do very well with these kinds of deals in like a day or two later and buying them after they blow up because they usually get unwind so fast. I'm going to go through this super quick and just see if I can see something I should answer. What's up, Richard? Zeta is interesting. What's up, Mon? Good morning. Delaware is beautiful. We're getting there, bro. No. 8:15. Don't start your nonsense. 8:15. Greetings from Japan. This is super interesting to me, and I think you're on this something, because if you go and look at I'll tell you why. Here's VUG divided by VTV. Like growth versus value, it's not even close, dude. So I think there's something with that deal. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Honestly. AEVA. If I look at something like this, I think it's interesting that they got like this car deal, right? Isn't that them? The car deal? Isn't that who they are? The super, like, okay. But, I did a couple trades last night. I blew those things out so fast. Like when I go through this stuff with MCHP, like they came out last night, they raised guidance, stock hardly moved, right? Oh, here we go. Caterpillar. Cat AI assistant. Here we go. Everything's going to have an AI assistant. But if I'm to look at like those kinds of names, to me, like this, Zeta, man, you had 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then that was it. You make sure you hit all notifications. I'm changing the playlists. So you're going to want to make sure you hit all notifications. Japan's export restrictions on dual use may include rare earth materials. SMCI, I don't care about. It's going because of microchip, which is stupid. Drone stocks are on fire. I think it makes a ton of sense. I think the drone names make a ton of sense. I see them. I'm looking at that. The ASTS, these things they're setting up to go. This Rocket Labs is setting up to go. You just have a big level up there, but that's a cup and handle. What's up, buddy? Thailand's supposedly beautiful. UNG. Oh, dude, I'm nowhere near through this. No. Wow, that escalated quickly. Why, Greg? Why did you get punched in Thailand, Greg? Well, what were you doing, Greg? All right, well, Greg's got some issues. BetterHelp.com, Greg. Got to work through that anger. Oh, there's no question, dude. Look at this name. Here, look at this. Go look into this. And go look what happens. And they have elections in 3 months, Jacob. And that's the state-run energy company. Yeah, Greg's got to calm down, dude. You need some meditation. You need a little meditation, a little Jesus right there. Yeah, I saw that. We covered it. Come on, man. You got to be here at 8:15 when we start. What? What's happening? Oh, God, I'm so late. All right, I got to go. Trade to win, guys. Have a good day. As I tell my son, make good choices.